Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Cosmic Culture, the channel where we talk about all major movie and television news, theories, breakdowns, and more. I'm Chris, and today we're going to break down all of the Lokis, who they were, and what role they could play moving forward that appeared at the end of the last episode. If for some reason you haven't seen it or you just don't know, the post-credit scene for the 4th episode of the Loki series revealed that after getting pruned, Loki was sent somewhere that has a ton of different Lokis in it. So we're going to talk about who exactly these Lokis are and talk about what they may want, what their plans are moving forward now that it appears all of them have in fact been pruned. And then on top of that, we're going to talk about other Lokis who didn't appear in this post-credit scene, who we can expect to make an appearance along the way as well, as Loki potentially puts together a now Loki army, which I'm very excited to see how this turns out moving into the 5th and 6th episode. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, guys, turn on that notification bell, like the video so you can show a little support for the channel, and if you go down to the comment section, just let me know which of all of these Lokis is your favorite. So, crazy, surprising, shocking news, Tom Hiddleston's the main timeline Loki got stabbed by the pruning stick and was deleted from the episode. Very surprising, but even more surprising was in the post-credit scene when we realized he's not actually gone. In fact, he's been teleported to a world that appears to be full of Lokis. So let's talk about these Lokis. We'll start off with the first one, who is the classic Loki. Now we're referring to him to the classic Loki because he actually dons the original Jack Kirby look from the comics, and it's a super cool nostalgic feel, and I think the idea of making him an older Loki like time has passed with him seems like a really cool inclusion. Now he's played by Richard E. Grant, and at the moment all the information we have about him is it's likely he was pruned by Mobius and his team, since Mobius was the detective in charge of constantly finding these Loki variants. Like he explained, he's been studying them for years and years and years, to the point that he might even know more about Tom Hiddleston's Loki than Tom Hiddleston does himself, which is why we get these really cool back and forths between this character and Owen Wilson, is because of the knowledge that Owen Wilson's Mobius has actually been able to gain from all these years of capturing and pruning different Lokis. All the way over to the left here, we have a character who is credited as Boastful Loki. Now, we don't know exactly who this character is. I myself have never actually seen him in the comics. I've never seen this hammer either. So it's possible that Disney has made him up for this particular series. He's not coming from the comics, which is completely fine. I'm curious to see if this is a different version of Mjolnir that he's holding, or if he went and made his own hammer because he can make one just as good as Thor, and that's why he's Boastful Loki. Very interesting, and I'm intrigued to see the backstory of this character. I hope they actually give it to us. Following him, of course, however, we have, right in the middle, Kid Loki, who everybody was very excited to see. This is one of the Loki variants who has shown up to find Loki, Tom Hiddleston's Loki, after he was pruned, and he's standing in the middle like he's in charge. It will be interesting to see a Kid Loki, somebody who has the personality of a Loki, the mischievousness of a Loki, but is still a kid, so has that innocent spirit as well. Very, very excited to see him play out in the series, but overall we can expect him to play a cool role, and his personality might actually end up clashing with other Lokis in the fact that he does have that innocence to him, whereas all of the mature Lokis have this diabolical pride that makes them want to be rulers and kings, and I'm interested to see that contrast between Kid Loki and a mature Loki. And then in this post-credit scene, there was one more Loki. If you did miss him, it is Croc Loki, or Alligator Loki, or some type of lizard Loki, although it does actually look like an alligator. Now, this alligator Loki is in the hands of Kid Loki when they arrive to see Tom Hiddleston after he's been pruned, and I'm very interested to see what his involvement moving forward is. I don't think they just added him into the scene for the fun of it. I think we're going to get some cool, whether it's comedic-like entrance of this character or something very important, it's going to have something to play down the line. You can see he's got the little horns there, which is super fun and super cool that they added that in. There is a Frog Thor, so who knows, maybe Alligator Loki ate Frog Thor, and all of this crap has led to him getting pruned. Very interesting inclusion that they would choose to put him into the original sequence of these Lokis who come to see Tom Hiddleston. And although those were the Lokis that came to see the recently pruned Tom Hiddleston's Loki, there are others that we're aware of, either from the actual show already or from trailers where we can connect them and assume that they're going to be introduced in this Loki pruned hell. which is what Tom Hiddleston asks when he first gets there. Am I in hell? So we can look at the original ones that Mobius showed us when he was going over the Loki breakdown. We have Loki variant L6792, who is a frost giant Loki. Now, this Loki is probably just the same storyline as Tom Hiddleston's Loki. He was adopted, his original parents were frost giants, but he embraces that, or perhaps he was even raised by his frost giant parents. Very interesting to see, and I presume these characters are going to meet up with him in this Loki world that they're currently in. We also have Loki variant L1247, the Tour de France Loki, who is holding a victory cup after winning some type of cycling race, it looks like. And again, he's going to appear to us hopefully on this Loki world. Then we have the Loki variant L6792, who is the resemblance of a Hulk Loki, which is a very funny inclusion, especially since Hulk and Loki have a very interesting relationship where Hulk smashes Loki around a lot and calls him a puny god. Also, most likely will be found on this pruned Loki planet. And then we have an interesting one. This Loki variant, who looks like he's getting ready to go to a huge nightclub, and he's the owner of a lot of very expensive things. This Loki does appear in the trailers. We've seen him before. It looks like in this presidential scene where we see President Loki standing there, and I am sure that he's going to be connected into what we see from the pruned Loki planet. So there's one connection at least, and I think it's very interesting that that's going to happen. And then on top of that, the last one that Mobius showed us is this Viking warrior looking Loki, who is variant L7803. Again, pruned and probably on this same planet. All those characters that Mobius had showed us are pruned ones, and there are many, many more that are going to appear in this cool pruned Loki location, which does seem to take place in a destroyed Avengers world. So again, interesting, and never a question as to how exciting this next episode is going to be. I think this 5th and 6th episode are really going to change the game for us. And then, of course, we've seen President Loki, and in the trailers, all of these other Lokis that are added in. The big question now is, what is their plan moving forward? How do they get off of this planet? Where exactly are they? Are other pruned characters there, or only Lokis? Lots and lots of questions, but keep in mind, guys, he does still have the broken time pad, which potentially there's a smart Loki there who knows how to fix it, and they can use that to return to the main timeline, to the TVA, somewhere like that. It is interesting that after being pruned, even though up to this point we were told that that means they're deleted, they're gone, that they actually aren't. And I think that backs up part of my theory that Loki is the big bad guy in charge of everything, and all of these Lokis are coming to take him down. And especially when you think about the ideology of a superior Loki, a Loki who's better than other Lokis, which has been mentioned several times throughout the series, it's possible that these Lokis are going to show up to show the Loki in charge, the Timekeeper Loki, that they are the superior Lokis, and put down their own order of time in the multiverse, eventually leaving the multiverse in a wreck, leading to the Spider-Verse, and leading to Multiverse of Madness with Doctor Strange. Let me know your guys' thoughts about this in the comment section down below. Like I said, which is your favorite Loki, and who are you most excited to see in action in the next following episodes? Thank you guys so much for watching to the very end of the video. If you found it helpful, useful, or entertaining, be sure to subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you in the next one right here on Cosmic Culture.